Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about having a scaling accountancy practice and what that actually means in terms of making sure that you keep everything up to date. Now, when you have anything that's at scale, you're going to have systems that you can rely on. One of the most important systems that we use at our accounting practice is a system called Accountancy Manager. And the idea of Accounting Manager is it makes sure that from a practice management point of view, we're always feeling like we're always on top of things. Worst case scenario for an accounting practice is if you actually forget to do something on behalf of a client. Well, Accounting Manager has lots of bells and whistles to make sure that you don't forget those crucial items and making sure that you are delivering the compliance service for your clients. So we're going to have a look today at Accounting Manager and look and see how we have been able to manage to automate our practice to the moon to make it as scalable as possible. This one is not to be missed. Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with fancy new logo, that QuickBooks Chap on the internet, and also head of account here at Boffix. Now, in today's video, it's all about talking about the world of Accountancy Manager. And for me, it's one of the most important tools that we've ever incorporated into our practice. It's been able to take us from just having a very startup mentality to be able to have something that is infinitely scalable in our opinion. Now, the reason we've been able to get the most out of Accounting Manager is because we were able to invest some time, get to grips with it, talk to them themselves, and actually find out how it fits best for our practice. One of the things I've seen more than anything else is how a lot of people don't really use all of the features within Accounting Manager, and then they almost write it off too soon. Accounting Manager is one of those pieces of software and solutions that you just need to give that a little bit of time to, understand what it's trying to do, work with it, and you'll end up being able to have a solution that will work for you and your practice. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into it, find out exactly how Accountancy Manager helps us become scalable. All right, well, straight away, you can see in front of me. Now, I've not got much on this screen. This is the dashboard overview area. But what it is telling me here is some information that's crucial. I can see if my timesheets have been completed by my team, and I can see how my task overview is going. Now, I can't show anything else on this, otherwise we're giving away crucial client and confidential client information. But I can assure you that this dashboard area has become one of my go-to areas each and every day that I start work. I'm going to do this in 3 sections. Those 3 sections, I'm going to talk about how we're going to be able to use automation to completely transform the way our practice works. Let's have a look. So number 1 for me is all about the onboarding process. Client and then new client. Now, all I need to do now is go through and choose what type of client it is. In this case, I'm going to say self-assessment client. Make sure I've got the partner and manager on, and you'll see that it's quite overwhelming if you're not careful about what information is there. But all I'm going to do now is make it really simple for myself. I can put preferred name and all that lot, but actually the easiest thing to do is put the QuickBooks Chap at boffix.com in just here. And that should be all I need to worry about at this point in time. Why? Because I want the client to fill the rest of this information in for me. Now, some things that we use to automate to make our life easier. We do have an option down here to incorporate the quote link. So if we've built the quote outside of here, we can bring this in and we can make this work from there. But also it means that when I'm sending quotes out, I can actually automatically get it linked to there to make it nice and easy. Now, my favorite bit of all of this is this services required tab just here. Here, all I'm doing is I'm going through turning on which features I'm going to be providing for this client. It's going to automate not only the actual process in me delivering this service, but it's also going to make sure that the engagement letter is updated that's going to reflect the services we want to give. So it's going to mean that I'm going to go through here. I'm offering the QuickBooks Chap accounts, bookkeeping. To be fair, probably doesn't need bookkeeping. He's pretty good at using QuickBooks itself, but he wants us to do it for him, so that's absolutely fine. Self-assessment tax return is there, and you can see there's all these other options, and I've added extra options as well, including Bookkeeping Plus, software. We've got the opportunity to do R&D, Office 365, post handling. We get to add as many as we need to as we go along. But the idea here is that I've added all these, and every time I tick one of the boxes, it's creating the tasks needed and creating the elements needed if the client signs up. Because at this point, remember, client's not actually signed up with Boffix. At this moment in time, all we're doing is we're sending out the opportunity for them to become a client. So That was dead quick and simple, wasn't it? Now all I'm going to do down the bottom is just press add client. Now that I've added the client, I'm going to send them the proposal. Again, quote's been updated automatically for me if I've got that done, and I'm just going to press send. It's also telling me at the end what those services required are going to be. I'm going to show you what the client sees. And to me, this is where it becomes really quite clever. So left-hand side is the practice area, right-hand side will be the client. Well, my client's just had the email come through, as you can see just here. And all it says is it says go through all these things, but then there's the option to sign up just there. And straight away, it's got my letter of engagement all set up. It's got everything all done. And all I need to do is agree, print. I could go through all of this and I can just going to put my name in. And again, from an automation point of view, what's happening here is now Accounting Manager is starting to actually get that data and start to prepare me as a client. Now we've got trigger points happening, so it's automatically going to send things like my direct debit to me. It's going to make sure that I have everything all in line, and it starts building me that picture. So now I create a little password and everything else. And now I've signed up, I'm in my client portal. Notice how it's all Boffix branded, so everything looks like it's from Boffix itself. It's showing some functionality. You can see it's prompting me to sign my VAT return. It's giving me some information that might be important, like company's house letters and minimum wage. And basically, what I'd use this more than anything else is it's wanting me to fill in all the information myself. So I go through and I fill this information in, and I'm providing in the information like previous accountants and websites and VAT details. I'm then passing it over to the client so they can get it right and make sure that they're always up to date. And that's the key thing as well, that they're always up to date. So they get to go through here and update things if they need to. They can see anything we've updated. We're using the same database that makes things nice and straightforward. And I can also get my clients to fill or request them to fill things in. Here's my checklist here that I'm asking them to complete so that I can then complete their tax return on them. And all of this becomes automated. You've got this one place of truth that you can go in and make sure everything's working really nicely. And straight away, you're eliminating that administration. You are giving that administration to the client so they can get it right, get it completed, get it spot on. There's no errors, no anything else. And then you can use that data there to start driving efficiencies going forward. Now I've got able to onboard the clients nice and easily. What about actually working with them? Well, straight away, it's starting to do what's called workflows for me. I can see that my self-assessment accounts preparation, my bookkeeping, self-assessment tax return, I can now assign what of those work papers or workflows going to be. And I can assign the right workflow so that I know that all the tasks are going to be completed. And it's all based on what services we've just ticked for them and we've got going for them. I can then go in as well and I can make sure their tasks are going to be created. It's going to prompt me to make sure my 648s can get sent automatically as the client provides the information for me. I literally press submit, that information is going to get done and chased on my behalf. And then what I also have the opportunity to do here is just review deadlines for this particular client. And if they've got multiple deadlines for multiple clients attached to them, they're going to see all of them that's there all in one place. At any point, I can look at my letter of engagement, what they signed and what they are. If I need to update that for whatever reason, I can update it all from here. And automation wise, this is where I find it really powerful. I can make sure that things are going to be done correctly. So I can get the self-assessment return records requested automatically on these particular dates. I can get the letter of engagement re-signed automatically on a particular date. And I can see my self-assessment records being requested at a date so I don't have to physically chase them. All of this is handled automatically for us. We set it up at the beginning, we decide what services our client wants, and they just work going forward. And if our client wants to take services on or take services away, then those automations will also follow with it as well. But my key area that I've really started to work with more so is this documents area here. Because this documents area here is an area where we can build stuff that our client will be able to see when they log in. So when they log into this area just there, we can put things on that the client's going to see and be able to interact with. So that makes sense that we use this as an area where we start working with, again, more automation. So for example, when we've finally gone through and talked to our client and we've got to the point where they're ready to sign their account, well, we upload it onto here, tick a box, and that will automatically go and get requested for sign. We can then automatically send them an email that's going to tell them what to pay, how to pay it, and all those payment elements as well will be automatically sent to them later down the line. Again, this is all about automation. We want to make sure that we have one trigger point that creates automation for our client going forward. And one of my favorite features when working with a client is this timeline feature, because at any point I can go through and see what's happening with clients, what emails were sent, when they replied to them. You'll be able to go in here and see what tasks were generated, when those tasks were completed. So you have a full holistic view of what your client's doing at any point in time. This also connects to Company's House, so as data is updated in Company's House, it will be updated here. And then finally, as a bonus here, we even get to connect QuickBooks directly to here as well. QuickBooks where we do our invoicing from. And at any point, I can click into the invoicing area and I can see the invoices that have been generated for this particular client. So I'm seeing everything. This is my one true source. This is one area where I hold all of my clients' data, and this is where I'm always be able to get to be able to make sure that it's always on top of, giving me the confidence that not only do we have the most up-to-date information, but due to automation, we're automatically going to be creating tasks and everything else. That means we're not going to drop the ball in terms of being able to comply and give compliance solutions for our clients. And finally, the other bit that we really utilize more than anything is the integration area. So by the integration gives us an opportunity to really start adding extra items to it. So for us, we are always using the QuickBooks option, so we can connect to QuickBooks to bring that information in. But then we can go a stage further. If you're a Go Proposal user, you can integrate with Go Proposal and help the proposals if you want to. But there's the option to use a solution called AirPA. And what that means is that can then connect to a whole manner of different things. But if you really want to go for it, then for us, Zapier is the absolute king, because what we can do with Zapier is we can tell Zapier to talk to any of the other solutions we have in our accounting practice. And then when something happens in Accounting Manager, that can become a trigger point to start things off elsewhere. Great example of that is the ability to think about sending, say, your direct debit solution. As soon as they come on board, we can automatically get it so that our direct debit solution can go send off and request them as a new client. At the end of the day with Accounting Manager, a lot of things is the fact that people aren't using the full breadth of the solutions that Accounting Manager has. But for us, that's where we've been able to invest that little bit more time, get to grips what the data is, and we've been able to make the most out of it. Even things like the timesheet functionality, we've started to use that now so that we can understand better placed on how profitable our work is on a client-by-client basis. We were never able to do that before, but thanks to utilizing all of what Accounting Manager has, we're able to bring that in. And for me, this is just the start. Accounting Manager is the starting point for where we're going to be able to go in the future when it comes to having those automations. If you think about it, Accounting Manager has been acquired by a group called Bright. And Bright now owns Bright Pay, Accountancy Manager by Bright, and also BTC as well. So what that means is they have a whole ecosystem that can be connected to Accounting Manager, with the idea that if you're using Bright Pay and Accounting Manager, then they can talk to one another. So the payrolls and everything else are all going to be updated via QuickBooks Online. What really excites me is that acquisition of BTC, which means that when you actually do a set of accounts for a client, you can have those automatically go into Accounting Manager to show updates as well. I know there's more innovations coming from them as well, which is going to create a larger ecosystem that accountants can use to completely and utterly automate their practice to the moon. And that, for me, is what I'm really excited about. Now, that's the future. Thinking about now, though, now is all going to be about making the most of what automations are already there. So for me, having the ability, just as simple as asking your client to fill in their own client information, is a complete game changer, because that way you're eliminating the potential that you could have errors or problems or issues because you're asking the client to complete it on their terms. It also means the client can provide the data piecemeal. They don't have to have access to all of that data from day one. If they don't remember what their UTR number is, or if they can't quite remember what their old accountant's email address is, or whatever it's going to be, they can provide that later. But crucially, Accounting Manager will always prompt them as well if they haven't been able to complete that. And don't forget, it's about making you compliant as well. Your engagement letters are always going to be out and updated. You're always going to have the opportunity to have an AML check directly within the software itself. For me, Accounting Manager has completely and utterly changed the way in which we service our clients. And I really do think for everyone out there who's looking to get an accounting firm, this is one of the solutions they should be looking at. Well, let me know below, what questions do you have Accounting Manager? Have you used Accounting Manager in the past and it's not worked out for you? Would love to know and find out exactly what those reasons are. But if you are using Accounting Manager, let us know below, what are your favourite features about it? What's the sort of things that we should be shouting out more? Now, this isn't the first time we're going to cover Accounting Manager. We're going to go into it in a lot more detail and depth later down the line. So if you are interested, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you're going to be the one who's going to know about Accounting Manager first before anyone else. My name's been Patrick. This video has been an absolute pleasure to do for you. I'm sure I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.